Welcome to the 10-Minute Mind Shift Podcast. I'm your host, Janet Cagle, certified life coach, weight loss coach, and lover of all things related to upleveling my life and yours. My goal is to help you get one step closer to your goal, whatever it is. My goal is not to keep you wrapped up in self-help all day, just 10 minutes. And who doesn't have 10 minutes, right? Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I have a really fun topic to talk to you about today, and that is eating. My word of the year this year is elegance, and one of the most frequent questions that I get is, what do you eat exactly? I thought it would be fun to share with you a little bit about my weight journey and my eating journey and how I apply my word of the year of elegance to eating. I'm going to give you 4 simple steps to eating elegantly. I say simple, and for sure, it's simple, and yet I understand if it doesn't sound that way. If you are a person who feels consumed by food thoughts of food, nothing about food or eating elegantly sounds simple or feels easy. I totally get it. That was me. That was me for most of my life, and for as long as I can remember. As early as the age of 4, I remember never sleeping through the night and always waking up with thoughts of what I could sneak to eat without anyone noticing. We weren't a family that had a lot of junk food in the house. In fact, it was rare if we did, so it wasn't like there was a lot of temptation around me. I'm not even sure where it comes from. All I know is that thoughts of food and what I could get away with eating so that no one would know about it consumed me for most of my life, probably until the last 7 years or so. I also binged a lot. At times, my binge of choice would be healthy food, but here's the thing. Over-consuming anything, eating beyond full, is not healthy, no matter what it is that you are consuming. I also had a lot of self-pity thoughts that consumed me, and they came to me in the form of questions like, why do I have to be the one to struggle with food? Why can't I just eat as much as I want without worrying about getting fat? Can I ever eat enough food to stop the food chatter? Why can't you just think about food like a normal person? None of those questions were powerful questions, and the residual feeling that I was left with was guilt and shame, confusion, disappointment, and feeling like a loser. These thoughts had a lot of power over me. They controlled my relationship with food. They controlled every waking moment. It was a place in time of trying to see how much bad eating I could get away with before it became unhealthy. The truth is, it was all unhealthy. Using so much of my brain space during this time left no room for creativity or productivity. When you wake up thinking about eating and then all of your day is consumed by the next meal and the next, it's exhausting. So I had no time or energy for even thinking about being creative, creating a life by design. I just wanted to stop the chatter in my head. So much of my interest in self-improvement came from that, wanting to stop the food drama and stop the food chatter. I thought that the answer was always in the diet. I tried the orange juice diet, the 7-day rotation diet, the slim fast diet, the grapefruit diet. You name it, if it was a diet, I was in. Here's what's so ironic, and see if this is familiar. I was trying all of these diets in the hope that one of them would not only get me to my magical number, but they would also magically make me not want to overeat anymore, make me not want to overeat anymore. Part of me was just always wanting to overeat. I was in the state of mind that I wanted to eat anything and everything. I wanted to do that, and I wanted to not worry about gaining weight. And for as long as that was my wanting, my wish, my goal, that was what consumed my daily thoughts. Can you see how those desires were sabotaging my relationship with food and sabotaging my health? I was on a quest to look outside of myself for the secret diet, the magic formula, when in reality, I had the answers all along, and you do too. Do you know that? I really want you to know that. If all of this is hitting close to your state of being, your self-image with food, I want you to know you do have the answer, and I can help you find it. The moment that I decided that I do not want to eat everything in sight, nor do I want to eat more than I need to fuel my body. I mean, really, really decide, a commitment thought, a decision thought. My life was changed forever. It was at that same moment that I decided that food is not entertainment for my mouth. It is not a reward for a good day. It's not comfort on a bad day. It is not my trusting and faithful friend. Food was fuel. That's it. That thought changed everything. I want you to think about your vehicle. Imagine the things that you do to make sure that it runs properly. You do the maintenance, the oil changes, and when the gas gauge looks low, you add more fuel. Now, apply my own thoughts to filling up your car. What if you had the notion that I want to fill it way past full? In fact, I just want to keep adding fuel, and I don't even care if the gas starts overflowing. I just want to keep filling it up. That sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? We would naturally think of how much gas we were wasting. Well, that's exactly what we're doing when we eat past full. We are wasting it on our bodies, and it's costing us in the form of health issues, and it's robbing us of a life of peace without food drama and the number on the scale drama. Now, we have a few things to thank for wanting to overeat, like the commercial food industry for one, the diet food industry for another. In 2019, I ran a free weight loss masterclass called 6 Pounds Down. I'm going to put a link to it in the show notes. I highly recommend that you go through this. I have had over 50 women go through the program, and each one of them experienced weight loss. But more than that, they changed their thoughts about food forever. They created a better relationship with food, and they reported having a different conversation in their head around food as a result. Here are a few things that I apply to my own eating and fueling lifestyle that have me eating in a manner that is elegant. Now, when I say that, I'm not talking about fancy dining and expensive food. In fact, elegance to me in any area of my life is simple, it's pleasurable, it's enriching, it's nourishing. So here is how I apply the word elegance to eating. Number one, I've already said this, but this thought is a game changer in so many ways, and it is my number one thought. I eat to fuel my body. Why this works for me is that instead of focusing on the many choices in front of me or eating at the effect of the 3-year-old in my brain, I am making decisions from my prefrontal cortex and deciding to eat based on what is required of me, based on my goals for my workout, for writing, for anything else that I have planned. This works for me on days that I didn't sleep well the night before, and for sure when I feel under the weather. The fuel that your body may need is going to be different on those days. Know what nourishes you, what enriches you, and be ready for that fuel plan. What I typically eat and how I fuel daily, and you can get more detail on this in the Weight Loss Masterclass, but for me, it looks like a lot of good protein and healthy, good fat. Not fattening stuff, healthy fat, and very little, if anything, that is in the processed food category. On sleepless night days, your brain will be screaming for sugar and processed foods because it is a little like having a hangover, and you get the cravings and urges as a result. But what you need for fuel on those days is good fat. No sugar, no flour, good fat, and rest. Fat burners need a lot of rest and good fuel. Do you see a theme here? All right, moving on. Number 2, I refuse to stress eat. Here is why. Stress and stress eating totally discombobulate our hormones. Our hormones are our body's chemical messengers. They regulate the body. When we feel discombobulated, it may be due to our hormones being out of whack, and also the way we eat contributes to our hormones being a little wackadoodle. Now, I know I'm not using very scientific terms here, but I think you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say those words. We have 3 eating hormones, and they are either suppressed or overactive, which creates the imbalance. For most of us, when we eat in response to stress. When we stress eat, instead of eating to fuel, we suppress our ghrelin, or the hunger hormone. We can find ourselves eating in response to an emotion instead of when our bodies are signaling to us that it's time to fuel. When we eat past full, we suppress leptin, the feeling full hormone. When we stress eat, we eat too much and we eat too often, and our insulin stays spiked, and our bodies cannot access our fat stores for fuel, which, by the way, is the most efficient and readily available fuel source that there is. So, instead of eating in response to stress, I ask myself what I can do to de-stress, and every single time, the answer is to manage my brain and the thoughts that my mind wants to run away with. Now, when I take care of me emotionally, I don't feel the need to seek comfort outside of me in the form of food. Does that make sense? You may not even be able to imagine that right now, but I promise you it can happen when you really apply this work. Stress eating is not elegant. It's more like a feeding frenzy, and so I refuse it. Number 3, I intentionally create a plan to have a pleasurable day. Even work days are pleasurable, on purpose, intentionally. Now, does that mean that every day is amazing and that every day goes according to my plan? No, but when you set the intention and you decide on purpose the kind of day that you're going to have, and you guard against anything different, even when things do happen, they just don't seem like that big of a deal. This plan also has me managing my thoughts, which manage my emotions, which manage the overwhelm and the stress and the anxiety. Do you see how that works? And finally, number 4, I manage my surroundings. This is a big one, and it's often overlooked. I want my surroundings to be colors that I love to look at, and sounds that I love to hear, and smells that I love to smell. And if that's not lined up, I take action to create it. I do not enjoy eating in chaos. So, becoming an elegant eater required that I clean up my environment, my surroundings. My kitchen is meticulously clean and organized. My fridge is organized. My pantry is organized. Eating elegantly is an exercise of peace and quiet and comfort. I do not enjoy eating in chaos and loud noises, and so I don't. So there you have it, 4 ways that I apply elegance to my eating. And so you might be wondering what effect that has had as a result of applying elegance to eating. I feel full in the way of how I am experiencing this life that I am living, full in the way that I fuel and the amount of energy that I have as a result of how I fuel. My body is leaner and I am stronger. I don't have the food chatter because I'm eating exactly the way that I want in order to experience the life that I want and the relationship that I want to have with food. I don't feel frenzy anymore when I eat, and I don't feel like I'm missing anything when I'm done. No more just one more bite, one more won't hurt. No one's watching, who cares anyway? Eating elegantly has been a way that I demonstrate self-love, self-respect, and self-integrity to myself. If this is something that you feel you want to add to your lifestyle, I strongly encourage you to click on the link in the show notes and go through my free weight loss masterclass. You won't be sorry. All right, my friends, this is the mind shift that I have for you today. And now go have the best week ever. That's a wrap of the 10-Minute Mind Shift podcast. I hope that you were able to experience your own mind shift today. Listen, if you're ready to take this work to the next level, I highly recommend Life by Design Academy. It's my one-on-one coaching program that offers you a transformation at the speed of life.